I had. But he told me, I said, so did you meet Enzo Ferrari? Back in the early days, 85 or so. He said, I got to meet Enzo one time. And he said, I was out there looking at the car and we were going over it and they were putting wax on it. And then it was all glasserette and it was a single stage before the clear coat. And he was freaking out because, this was one of the first Ferraris and it had swirl marks in it and they'd put, beeswax or he called it banana wax, carnauba. And they'd put a couple of covers over it and then put it in the pallet. And he's just going, what about this? What about that? What do I do in here? So they get Enzo, and Enzo walks down the hall, real short guy, the big nose, big black glasses. He looks at the car and feels, and Enzo goes, Ferrari is a race engine, not to paint a job. And he turns and walks away. And Phil goes, that's enough for me. And that was the extent of meeting Enzo Ferrari.
Yeah. That's a good story right there. All right, hey guys, welcome back. Hot Rods and Hijinks podcast. Got a fun one today. We got Mr. Kent Bewley sitting here with us. Kent is a local wealth of knowledge. It's been in the car business around here forever and ever and ever. We are at 89 years now in the car business.
Yes.
And he's also the owner, curator, janitor, whatever you need over here at the City Garage Car Museum. Him and his wife, Miss Betty Ann, take care of all that over there for us. Got a real nice little place. You ever in Greeneville, downtown Greeneville, need to check it out right over here on Main Street. I can't remember the street address, but what's the street address?
200. 210 now.
210
South
210 South Main Street, Greeneville, Tennessee. Go check them out. Anyway, Mr. Bewley, welcome to the podcast. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
We're going to let you do a little talking about, the automotive history from right here in Greeneville, Greene County for the last several years. You brought all kinds of interesting stuff with you today. It's pretty neat stuff right there, so I'm going to let you do some talking. You just tell us a little backstory there on you and your family's.
Well, I've been in the car business all my life. My dad started in 1937 with a Packard dealership, and then in 38, he picked up Pontiac, and in 39, picked up Cadillac.
Wow.
And kept it up until 1957 and sold to Ken Pless. And then we went in the Chevrolet business and had almost every franchise, counting Toyota, Subaru.
Wow.
And so I've been in the car business all my life. Started basically just picking up trash on the lot. And then I worked my way up to cleanup, washing cars, and then detailing, and then working on them, and driving, and selling, and
doing it all.
Anything and everything need to be done.
Hey, that's what it takes. But it gives you a better respect, and you know the whole system in and out that way too. You know it in and out.
Yeah,
that's good. So how many cars do you think you've sold over the years? You ever try to keep up with that number?
No, it's got to be in the 10,000 plus.
Oh, yeah. Been a lot of cars sold.
Yeah, a lot of cars. Yeah,
that's cool. And you're still real active in the car world. You still?
Yeah. We don't sell much now with the car museum. We do a lot of buying. I have sold one or two, but we look for really neat cars now, and I'm glad to have the museum because it keeps me active in the car business.
Oh, yeah.
It keeps the family name alive.
Yes, sir. That's great. That's great. So tell us what it's like growing up as a kid and your dad with that dealership. And
well, the first thing I remember is he had a brand new Packard getting ready to deliver it. They just Scotch guarded the seats and everything. I was about 5 years old, and I can remember, you know how kids are. Mm-hmm. There was a mud puddle out there in the lot, so I walked through the mud puddle, and the doors were open and had, I guess, step boards on the side. And so I stepped up, walked across the seats in there, and
Not a good
Needless to
day.
say, my
was it?
dad found out about it. Got a good whipping.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day.
No,
it wasn't
not
a good day. That's funny. So that was your dad's dealership, the one that was over here on Summer Street, correct?
Roswell Bewley.
R.R. Bewley. R.R. Bewley. Okay. And you still got that building to this day.
Still have it, yes.
It's a very neat building too, by the way.
Yeah, somebody was telling me the other day, said, your dad would really be proud of you keeping the building up. I said, yeah, he would, but he says not making any money.
Yeah, he wouldn't be happy about that part, would he? That's funny. That is funny. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good one, though. But
now, let me tell you about some other members. Hazen Bewley, I don't know if you know Anthony Thomas.
Yeah. I've heard that name.
His dad and my dad were partners. They actually started together in the car business, and my dad, Roswell Bewley, bought Hazen out several years later.
Okay.
And they were partners in the tobacco warehouse business, too. Then Joe Bewley, who had Bewley Chevrolet originally, was a first cousin. And then I guess there were 2 or 3 other Bewleys involved, you know.
All of you've always been tied to the car business, ain't you?
The car business, that's exactly right.
Car business, tobacco business, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, tobacco was a big market though here in Greenville, Greene
was.
County. That was Greenville, Greene County.
It was a cash
tobacco.
It was a cash crop.
Yeah.
And I kept the books for the Tobacco Board of Trade, which kept up with the tobacco business. The last year I had it was in 1987. It's hard to believe.
Wow.
But in 29 days in this town, we did $40 million worth of business that
Golly.
year. And all that money went into the local economy. You know?
Yeah. That was what kept everybody alive.
And see, all that went away.
Yeah. Tobacco's died off bad.
Yeah, and in the dairy business, you know, pet milk and everything was big, and that's gone. So we, you know, in Magnavox, that was a big thing. So Greenville and Greene County have suffered through some economic tough times.
That's a fact. They really have. They really have. And, you know, that you're talking about that, you know, with all the warehousing space and stuff, then you just have to kind of back up and utilize it for something else. You know, you got to try to find another market to get somebody in there and do other stuff, you know.
It's a real funny story. I guess it was 1988. I got a call from Magnavox, and they needed some warehouse space to store televisions. And so they told me what they would pay, and I ran the numbers. I'd make more money leasing to them than I would running the tobacco business. And so I told my dad, and he said, well, I hate to quit.
Yeah.
And I said, my sister owned 10%. I owned 45%. My dad owned 45%. My sister didn't do anything but cash a check. And so Dad said, I don't want to get out. And I said, well, I tell you what. I said, they're going to pay me about $50,000 to do nothing.
Yeah.
I said, you pay me that, you and Sis can run it.
Yeah, there you go.
He said, oh, hell, sell it. Or rent it.
Go for it, huh?
Go.
That sounded a little better than that tobacco money, didn't it?
That's right.
That's funny. Yeah. That is. That's funny. That's a lot of years right there.
And that's what we did. You know, the tobacco business kind of went south, and I'm in warehousing. We got into it in a pretty big way, and it's a good business. That's what we do now, basically just rent space.
Yeah. That's good, though. I mean, it keeps the buildings occupied, because you know how it is. If you leave a building to set, that building's done. The building dies, you know. So
that's right. Yeah.
But that's good. That keeps everything moving, keeps everything up, and the buildings are still usable.
Yeah.
That's cool. But tell us a little bit about some of this stuff you got in front of you right here. I want to hear a little bit more about this stuff. We've got a list of, what is this, dealerships?
Yeah, we've got dealerships in Greenville through the years. Let me run through them real quick. Greene County Motor Company was a Claude Hurley. You probably never heard of Claude Hurley, but it was up here on Summer Street, I guess right across from the Greenville Sun.
Yeah.
And it was there.
That's all parking lot now, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Bewley Chevrolet was Glenn Bewley and Joe Bewley, and it was down there below, I guess, the hotel. Next to it. You remember where Corner Drugstore?
Yeah, now it seemed like I've seen pictures of that. Was it on Church Street right up in there? Or was it on,
no, it was on Main Street.
On Main, right there between the drugstore and the hotel, wasn't
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Then Sam Riley Chevrolet was down in Mohawk, and they did a tremendous business. Easterly Motor Company was over there, I guess, behind the Cumberland Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
There was a big lot back there.
That's what I was thinking of, I guess, whenever you said the Bewley Show. I was thinking the one that I've seen pictures of behind the Presbyterian Church.
You guys are too young to remember this, but Greenville, DeSoto, and Imperial. And
I never knew we had one of those.
Yeah. Do you know where Frank Santori has his office there on Depot Street? It's right below, you know where that restaurant is? What's that restaurant called there?
I don't know if I know where.
Well, it's right across from the jail, diagonally. If you
Okay.
the
Right there,
tannery.
tannery. Yeah. Right there where the tannery restaurant is.
That was Greenville, DeSoto, and Imperial. And then City Dodge Garage is where the car museum
that is
is
right.
now. Then Harrison Motor Company is out there where AutoZone is.
Right.
You know, I had those mobile
You had
dealership there.
Oldsmobile there.
The
Yeah. Oldsmobile. Subaru, wasn't it?
Subaru was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Subaru.
Yeah, Subaru.
Yeah, I got Subaru from Charlie Hendrickson.
Did you?
You all remember Charlie?
I remember Charlie a little bit. My mom bought cars from Charlie.
Let me
Hendrickson.
tell you about Charlie.
Yeah, that's.
I'll make it short and sweet. But
Oh,
he's-
you ain't got to make it short. You tell it whatever it takes. We got time.
Charlie was one of the smartest guys I've ever known. He graduated from William and Mary, which is it's as hard to get in as Harvard.
is.
My sister graduated from William and Mary.
Oh wow.
He graduated from William and Mary when he was 18 years old.
Oh wow.
18, yeah.
Wow.
Just an extremely smart guy. But he wanted out of the business. And I was with him one day. We'd been to a car auction up in Bristol. And he said, let me sell you that dealership up there. I said, Bill, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to make you a deal you can't refuse. He said, I'm going to sell it to you. What I got in it, I'll finance it for you as long as you won't charge you any interest.
How you say no to that?
I can't turn a deal
Yeah.
down like that.
Yeah.
So I say I got in the
That's funny.
those mobile
That is.
dealership.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Now, didn't you tell me a story on him about him?
And John Kennedy.
Yeah, was it him and Kennedy? Yeah.
They were PT boat operators.
Tommy will appreciate this story. This is a good story, Tommy.
Yeah. They were PT boat operators in World War II. And he said he played a lot of poker with him and everything. He said he wasn't a very good poker player. And so when they had the inauguration, when he became president, I guess it was 1960, I believe.
That sounds about right, I
And
guess.
Charlie's wife, Carrie Hendrickson, she was a big politician and a big Democrat. So they went to the inauguration, and they were standing in the receiving line to meet the president. And Charlie said he walked up to the president. He said, "Do you remember me?" And he said, "Yeah, you're that SOB that took all that money off of me." So
That's good. The president hadn't forgot about that.
that's
had he?
right.
That's
Wow.
funny.
Charlie
That's a good story. I figured Tommy'd like it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's awesome.
That's awesome. There's been some guys here, I'm telling you. And you still got more on the list, don't you?
Yeah, Clark Harrison. I don't know. Do y'all remember Clark Harrison?
I faintly do, yeah.
He was a real estate
It's-
developer,
yeah, I'll say
contractor.
yeah,
builder.
yeah.
Been years
He
ago.
created a
yeah.
couple.
Yeah,
of,
after he got out of the car business, he got into real estate. But
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was his claim to fame. Now listen to this: out there in front of the dealership, he wanted to get some attention, so he wrestled a bear.
I've heard tell that story.
Killed him. He said,
Bear
"I'll
about
never
one."
do that again."
Yeah,
So,
not going to do that no more.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd actually kind of heard that story some of the years about Harrison wrestling that bear. I'd say there's a pretty good crowd of people wanted to see that. And
There were pictures. I think the Greenville Sun in their archives. Probably.
could you imagine that? It's just 1,100 and kill him right there, you know?
That's right.
do you remember when the mayor went through Fuzzy Jennings' car wash on his wheelchair?
Yes.
Now,
That's a
now,
whole
wait
other story.
You want to back up here, Tommy. Let's hear this story.
That's a whole nother story we'll come up with. But
We'll have to come on out in another day.
Yeah, I know a little bit about
Jennings Brushmatic Car Wash open every day except when it rains.
Yeah.
He had a policy that if it rained within 24 hours, and you could bring your car back the next day, and he would wash your car for free. But he was over on 11E. So
That's interesting. That's pretty cool.
He was trying to find the picture. He said, I think we took one. Maybe the Greenville Sun had him.
Yeah.
But the mayor at the time was in a wheelchair, and he brought it up there and thought it would be a good
That is
publicity
interesting.
stunt to take that wheelchair through the Brushmatic car wash.
I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I want to apologize to everybody that is watching, paying attention. Shop's running back there behind us while you keep hearing
Gotta
everything.
keep the
Air
lights
compressor.
on.
Somebody's got to make money around here while we sit and talk. That's the problem, ain't it?
Right.
That's interesting. I had never heard that story, Tommy. I honestly had. I had never even heard tell about that.
There's all kinds of fun stories about Greenville. We were talking earlier, and you were talking about Clark Harrison and John Bohannon.
Yeah.
And you told me
yeah.
that John Bohannon actually got your father started.
He did. My dad thought
automotive.
John Bohannon was the greatest thing there ever was.
I've heard a lot of stories on Bohannon. They claim he was just a brilliant man, just a super brilliant man.
Yeah, he was smart. He was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And he helped a lot of young guys. He helped my dad, and he helped my uncle, and my dad said he helped a lot of other young business people get started.
I've always heard good on Bohannon. And he knew he was just a genius.
A genius.
Yeah.
Just naturally smart guy.
He never
a lot of common sense.
Believed in banks because during the Depression, he lost a tremendous amount of money in one of the banks here in Greenville that failed. I think it was Citizens Bank.
Okay.
And so after that, he just dealt in cash. And my dad said that he had a vault. He actually got a vault from one of the banks that failed during the Depression. And he used it to keep his money and everything.
No kidding.
And my dad said that he had two or three stacks of $100 bills that were at least 2 feet high, each one of them.
Golly.
With bricks on top of them. So he said it had to be tens of thousands of dollars, maybe
for sure.
$100,000. And this was back in like the 40s.
Oh, that was just unheard of. Yeah. That's nobody.
He said John had more money in the banks.
How did he make his money? Do you know?
He did things that nobody else would do.
Well,
he did a lot of work out at the dam. And he helped build that bridge. He was kind of a innovator and an inventor, and a thinker. You know, and a problem solver. And he would do things that nobody else would do.
Yeah, I've always heard like stories about that. Like when they were built that powerhouse and stuff out there at the dam, they're talking about trying to get the generators set down in there, and they couldn't figure. And that was John's idea. Just set them on blocks of ice, let the ice melt out.
Yeah. My dad thought he made it possible for him to be successful in business. But he said John was walking downtown in Greenville one day, and he saw a lawyer. And he stopped the lawyer on the street, and he said, "I need to ask you a legal question." And he asked him, and he said, "How much would that be?" And he said, "It'd be $5. So John gave me $5. So about 3 or 4 months later, they were working on the bridge out on the Nashville Highway, and this guy was back years ago, was riding a horse, and it wouldn't go across the bridge. And it scared it. It spooked it. So he said, "John, can you help me?" So John said, "Let me have your coat." He took his coat and threw it over the horse's head where he couldn't see, and he let him across. He said, "John, how much do you?" He said, $5.
Wasn't getting none of that for free.
Got his money back. Yeah.
Got to make money where you can.
That's right.
I was told he took a team of mules and used them to help construct the Greene County Courthouse.
Really?
They were looking for a crane and couldn't get one in and delivered in time.
Yeah, that's true.
And they had the steel I-beams in the top of the building. He took a bunch of pulleys and ropes and chains or whatever, and he put feed sacks over this team of mules' head and walked them down around the back of the building there. It's kind of high up, and hoisted those things up and set it up. Yeah. So
just an engineer.
Just
engineer in mind.
Marvel, yeah.
Probably didn't even have much education. Probably hadn't even. That's what's impressive with a lot of those guys. They never had any education.
They said, I kind of hate to tell this, but the daddy said it's the truth. Some burglars broke in their house, his wife's house, when they understood he had a lot of money, which he did, and he wouldn't give them any money. They pulled a gun out and put it up to his wife's head and said, "We're going to kill your wife." He said, "You."
Wow.
Well, that's fine.
That's
true.
That's great. Yeah,
sometimes
he
loved to,
Yeah.
He
knew they wasn't going to do it. Huh?
That's right.
Or at least he didn't figure they would.
And
if they did, it
is what it is.
That's hilarious. Golly.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? But yeah, he was an innovator. Yeah, he was. He was an innovator. That's crazy.
My dad said he was extremely strong. He said, "Let me tell you how strong he was." He said he took an anvil. He could pick an anvil up just like that and hold it straight out. You can't do it with both hands.
No, you can't hardly move one of those two people. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I've always heard a lot of tales on that guy. I always have.
I say they're all true.
I guarantee it. Yeah, I guarantee they are. That's crazy.
He let the air out of the tires. A truck was going through a tunnel, and the load was, instead of unloading it, he got stuck, and he let the air out of the tire, and the truck came on through, like the underpass.
Well, and in there, I've seen pictures of it. Like there was something that had made the Greenville Sun here one time, years and years ago, where they were right up here trying to get some piece of, it was a printing press or something, went it into the it's Greenville Sun now, but into the newspaper office, wasn't it? And they couldn't fit it through or something, and I forget what it was, like sidewalks. I don't know. But anyway, he's the one that come up with the idea. They cut a bunch of trees and just laid the logs down and built up basically a big ramp over what they needed, and they just pulled that wagon and everything across to get around having to lift over that, just stuff that was out of out
common sense.
Common sense. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lack of that now in all kinds of
Absolutely. That's what we need.
We have Google.
Yeah.
That's right.
They go to the Googleations right there and see what it says. But yeah, that is impressive though. I mean, stuff that guy did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
One thing too, I wanted to mention this. Gene Easterly. I don't know. Do you guys remember Gene Easterly?
No, that's before my time.
He was a Buick dealer, but I did some research on him, and he was a car distributor. You don't know what a car distributor was.
He was like he was basically like, say, like licensed through GM or whatever, when they had to go to him to get their.
That's correct. He got a cut or got a percentage of every car that was sold from Knoxville to Bristol.
Unreal.
And so he was a Buick dealer. I bought some Buicks off of him.
Okay.
I actually bought where AutoZone is out there.
Yeah.
I bought that off of him. He's a really good guy. Sold him an Oldsmobile. He's a Buick dealer. But he, I think he became the car distributor up there, and probably that's where he made his money.
Oh,
And
sure. Just the royalties
I
off of
asked my
that.
dad one day, he was a multi-millionaire, and I said, Dad, how did he make his money? He said, son, that's easy. Never spent any.
That's an easy way to keep it. You
He
can
lived it with his sister.
really.
He didn't have to buy a car.
Well.
So that was Easterly Weems at Buick Dotson at one time.
That's right. Yeah, Charlie Williams.
Charlie Williams. Yep.
Yeah,
Charlie Williams,
That was a merger that didn't work.
It didn't work.
And then Easterly got out, and then I didn't go in business with him, but I bought his building, and he I let him hang around up there. He helped us sell cars and everything. But Bachman went in with him, and that didn't work out. And then Bachman went in with Charlie Williams.
Charlie Williams. Oh.
And that went for a while. It didn't work out either.
So sometimes partnerships don't work out too.
Myron Bernard went in, Phil, and that worked out well.
Myron went in, Phil, and that worked well for many, many, many years, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a good situation. Yeah.
So Tusculum Boulevard was kind of like the motor mile.
That's right.
From about Austin Street. There was Doyle.
Yeah.
Ford Mercury or Doyle
Me
Mercury.
and Kent kind of talked on Doyle the other day there. He said that wasn't here.
It wasn't here long.
He said maybe a year or two.
Well,
he was from Bristol. He was from Bristol.
Up there's the sign.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the Greene County Motor Company. We've got that one there. But so right past it, next to where AutoZone, the gym there. Was there a dealership in there as well?
That was Hendrickson Oldsmobile.
Okay.
And then I bought it out in 1980. I bought it, and it became Bewley Oldsmobile. And we stayed there, and then
the Harrison Motor Company was the warehouse that is now. And
Harrison Motor Company was right there where AutoZone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when they went out, I'm trying to think sequence of events, but I think when Charlie Williams went in with Bachman, they moved Buick and everything out. And that's when they had the opportunity to move Oldsmobile and Subaru down there, which was a much better situation.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that was a whole lot better place.
Yeah.
This Oldsmobile sitting behind us was bought from Hendrickson. It's a Hendrickson car.
Yeah.
It was bought new up there in 72. But
Charlie got, I don't know whether you guys probably know this or you may not know this, but after World War II, there weren't any dealerships during the war because they were making, GM and Ford were making vehicles for the war.
Right.
They weren't making for the dealerships. So a lot of dealerships went out. My dad, he just went in the used car business. And they'd go up to New Jersey and Pennsylvania and buy cars and bring them back down here and sell them. But after the war, then people like Charlie Hendrickson, Clark Harrison, and some of these guys started getting dealerships. My dad, and that's when the car business really surged, probably 1945, 46, right there.
Start
right
taking
after
off.
the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, from 46 to probably 50 to 52. See, nobody had any cars. I mean, people,
Right.
Sure.
they didn't.
There
So
wasn't-
they just went
wasn't nothing,
wild,
was there?
you know,
Yeah.
buying cars after that. So
Yeah.
it was a tremendous surging business there for that probably 6 or 7 years period of time there.
What was your favorite brand of cars in the time that you were in business? What did you have the most fun or that you felt the best about having a brand or
Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile?
Really?
That broke my heart when they. So then I had Oldsmobile in Morristown, and I had it here in Greeneville.
Yeah.
I got a phone call, and they said we were on an internet network, and they said you needed at 2:00 you need to hook in, and so we did. And this guy came over the airwaves and television waves and what have you, and said, "I hate to tell you, Oldsmobile made us this, but you're no longer in business."
Mm.
Mm.
And I had
Just
to.
pulled the plug.
I
Huh?
mean, that's it.
Sorry about your luck. Thanks for selling them. We'll see you later. You know, just
I mean, it was disastrous. Like,
Sure.
You know, we had Chevrolet, and we had Buick, and
Mhm.
so we were able to survive. But I never could understand. And I told the general manager of Oldsmobile, I said, "Y'all are crazy."
Yeah.
I said, "Get rid of Buick.
Yeah.
Sure.
We sell 2 Oldsmobiles every Buick we sell, and it's a better vehicle." But you know, this bureaucracy in these large corporations is beyond
Right.
being cured.
Sure.
Oh, it is.
It is.
It
It's
is.
just all. It's a sickness.
When was Oldsmobile's heyday? When were they like the
Hottest thing around.
Yeah.
Probably 77 through probably 85.
really?
We sold in Greenville, Tennessee in 1980. I sold 227 cutlasses in Green.
Wow.
In Greene County.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a lot.
That's a lot for one area. Yeah.
Cutlasses, just
One
nothing else.
model.
just
Yeah.
cutlasses.
One model.
Yeah. It's a lot of cars. We'd sell 15 to 20 every month.
Wow.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
And that's good numbers for a small community. You know?
We were out selling Honda. It was the number one seller.
Was it really?
And then they changed the body style. You know, these corporations, they
Yeah.
want to fiddle with. If it works, don't fix it.
Yeah.
They started
So
going to front
They
wheel
started,
drive.
they
and
started doing all this
changing the
stuff.
platforms.
Went to, had a diesel in the. That's the biggest
Yeah.
disaster. I changed 200, over 200 diesel engines. They took a
Golly.
gas engine and converted it to diesel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was always just
I
trouble.
was an
Yeah.
engineer. For,
Yeah. They said
failure.
that, all those early GM diesels like that were just basically like a small block Chevy block. Bought them in and said it would just blow the crank out because compression was so much. It just blow the crank rods,
Oh,
everything,
yeah.
stuff would mess up right there.
We replaced. I don't know how many engines, hundreds of them replaced.
It was just a flop, wasn't
It's
it?
good for the service
It
department.
worked out good for everybody underneath, but
Well, you had some
That's
upset
crazy.
customers.
oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Buy a brand new car and then
It
6
blows
months
up.
later and it's scattered parts everywhere.
yeah,
That's just unreal.
it is.
But no, that's cool though. I didn't realize there was that many cars sold. Like you just said, like sell that many cars in that short of amount of time.
Yeah.
Just one model.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But that was also back when cars actually looked pretty good too.
I tell you one thing about Greenville back during its heyday. Greenville was kind of a center of energy, I guess, as far as the automobile business, maybe some other things. I think the tobacco business kind of made that
I'd say.
possible because we brought a lot of people in from, like Gate City and up
Makes
around
sense.
Bristol and even over North Carolina. They
Yeah.
would come to Greenville to sell their tobacco, which was the largest tobacco market. And as a result, they could end up buying other things.
Spend their money.
Spend
while
their
it's
money
here.
here.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
great.
So
Yeah. That's what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got tickled. I've talked to a guy. I had a 48 Mercury delivered one time. I bought it out of Des Moines, Iowa, out in there. That's where it came from. And the shipper, he was out of Greensboro, so he was coming back this way. And he picked the car up. He come back. And he said, "Man," he said, I went. He had a truck he had to unload. He'd picked up second. He had to unload the truck before he unloaded my Mercury. He said, "You know where that truck come from?" I said, "No." He said, "Odebolt, Nebraska." I said, "Odebolt, Nebraska." I said, "Never heard of it." He said, "I hadn't either." He said, "You know what was out there?" I said, what? He said, nothing. He said, corn. He said, there was corn. He said, I drove through corn for felt like days. He said, I come into a downtown. He said, they had a Ford dealership, a Chevy dealership, and a Dodge dealership. He said, in 4 banks. He said, I walked up there to get this truck as a GMC. He said, boy, he said, you must have a lot of money around here. He said, woman asked him, well, why did he say that? He said, you got all these brand new dealerships. He said, you got 4 banks. He said, and there ain't nothing else in this town. He said, that's it. He said, there's money.
Yes.
But that's what he was talking about, just farming community, just kept their money there.
Yeah. Well, Greene County was, it was an agricultural phenomenon back in this day.
Oh, yeah.
It was. People just did not realize how big it was.
I mean,
it was the largest tobacco market.
I mean, kind of like with the Austin company, they could have went anywhere. I'm sure.
Yeah. They were big. People didn't realize they were the second largest tobacco processor in the world.
Yeah.
Second largest.
They were huge.
Second only to Reynolds Tobacco.
Yeah, they ran for many years too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I think RJ Reynolds is still in business over there. I think
they are in Winston-Salem.
They're still there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're 2 big smokestacks out there. And those are pretty neat. I reckon they had neons around them. It looked like cigarettes at night lit up, Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, they control that part of the country over there.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
And, that was big too. I mean, you look at NASCAR, it was the Winston Cup for how many years?
For years.
Yeah.
I actually got in trouble at school when I was a kid for that. I wore a shirt that said Winston Cup. And I got in trouble because it was tobacco related. I had to wear my shirt inside out the rest of the day. And yes, that is petty, and I'm still holding a grudge against that.
You should have said that. Tobacco made this county.
That's right. Say, tobacco paid for this county,
Yeah.
But no,
it's real funny. I'm on the board at Hosting Home for Children.
Right.
And the Austin Tobacco Company was back in the 50s and 60s, very generous to them. I mean, big time.
I'd say.
And when I went on the board, that's been 30, 40 years ago, I guess. And somebody was on there. They wanted to make a donation or do something, and we were going to name something after us. And one of the board members said, we don't need to endorse a tobacco process company. And the director said, the room you're sitting in here, they paid for it.
Yeah. They paid for everything around here.
Exactly. They were great corporate citizens.
Yeah.
I went to Bob Austin, this cute little story. And right after I got out of the Army, and I went on the board of the YMCA, and we were raising money to build a new facility over here. And so I went to see Bob Austin. Did you ever know Bob?
No, I didn't know.
A phenomenal guy.
Was
had a PhD from Harvard. He's a brigadier general, spoke 5 languages, smart as a whip. So I went to see him. I was nervous.
Oh, sure.
And I told him what I was there for, raising money for the Y. And he said, how much money would you like for us to give? And I said, $10,000. And he said, that's not enough. I'm going to give you 20. He said, now, son, remember this. Always ask for more than you want. I said, I'll remember that.
There you go. Make that note.
That was generous.
That is. That's very generous.
They were so good to this community. People do not realize what they, what they did. Now, Robert, his son, is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And I want you to Google him. It's Robert Carter Austin. You know what his main job is?
What is it?
He directs the Dallas Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, wow.
Speaks 5 languages. Got a PhD. He's got his bachelor's degree from Stanford, his master's degree from MIT, and his PhD from Cambridge.
Wow.
And,
that's unheard of.
That's unreal.
I want you to Google. He's a good friend of mine. I just sold him a building.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sell him a warehouse.
Sold him a warehouse.
Okay,
yeah.
Good deal.
He owns Metals Engineering. So
okay.
He owns all of these.
Does he still live here in Greenville?
No, he lives in Dallas.
Lives under where he directs the orchestra.
And his wife's the head veterinarian, or I guess the head. I guess it's the Chicago Zoo. She's
really.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty neat life right there.
Yeah. But he's an interesting, really.
Oh, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'll check that out.
Robert Carter Austin.
I'll check that guy out. Well, some of this stuff we got on the table here, I think we're going to talk on some of this. There's some stuff right here that's just absolutely neat. I like this right here. Kent, tell us about this. We'll get a picture of this up there.
Okay. My dad sold Oral Anderson, this 1951 Cadillac, for $3,600. He paid for it with 36,000 Roosevelt dimes. And that picture was in Automotive News.
They had to publish that.
And my
one.
dad took these to the bank, and he made one of the tellers count every
Oh,
dime.
they hated him that day, didn't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely hated that day, didn't they?
That's right.
I'd say that took a little while to count.
Yeah.
But that's at the dealership here on Summer Street, correct?
Yeah.
That's a neat building, man.
You
I
said
tell you.
1951.
1951.
Wow.
Now, here's
You see?
something interesting.
Yeah.
You know my wife, Betty,
Mhm.
of course. Her dad and my dad were good friends. And my dad sold him a new Cadillac in 1951.
That's unreal, isn't it? That's unreal.
That's
Now,
how I met
who-
Betty, and I sold her a new Corvette.
There you go.
It cost me.
Cost you.
Still paying for it.
Still paying for that Corvette, ain't you? That's funny.
She asked me after we got married, she said, we're riding down the road, she said, how much money did you make off me when you sold it? That's Corvette to me. And I said, I remember. She said, you make $1,000.
Oh, my word.
I said, I made a lot more than that. No, I didn't. I think I made 400.
You know she's going to see this, and you're going to owe her. Is
I
what's going
made
to happen.
400. I promise.
He's lying. He made $100. Is all he made.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, who had the receipt? Did you all have it, or did they have it?
I found it looking through some,
Did you?
archives.
Man, that's neat. Did you see that, Tommy?
I didn't.
That's where my dad sold my wife's dad a new Cadillac.
Yeah. When you all were still just little kids playing with toys, wasn't you?
Yeah.
That's impressive. That is. You were probably what, about that age?
Yeah. At that age, yeah.
We got a picture of a little Kent right here riding around his little Packard pedal car.
Packard pedal car.
Poor guy's always been in the car business. He's even in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
Yeah.
You ever sell Bobby Waits any cars?
I did.
I heard he had to buy his secretary a car once.
I heard that.
He said she had a nicer car than I did. And I said, really? What was it? He said, a Lincoln Continental.
Winking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bobby was the case.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I sold him. I've sold him several vehicles. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
A Lincoln Continental. Huh?
Yep.
Here's this is pretty interesting, I think. Here's some checks from Easterly Motor Company, but I want you to look at Mr. Easterly's signature. Back in those
Oh,
days,
yes.
they took
Very good
pride.
signature.
They
Yeah.
took pride in their signatures and in their writing. Everything was very, what do you call it? Scriptive, I guess. So,
I can't write like that.
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, he took some effort to do that. It's
Yeah.
very distinguished.
It's pretty, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, and they all look the same.
Yeah.
You know,
See,
it's-
it's really funny. Like his E.E. Easterly, and my dad was R. Bewley, and Betty Ann's dad was M. Bewley.
Yeah.
Oh,
had
wow.
double initials. You know.
that is neat. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. Yeah. Wow.
But my dad had a great signature. And, yeah.
So this is, these are just checks that he's wrote for something to be done.
Yeah, I
like
just
to
found
repair
out.
top of car or stuff like. Okay.
Yeah. I just found those.
6-1 of 44. That's been a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Very neat. Old Greene County Bank check. That Greene County Bank in the background.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like it. Now, I guess, that's where they've run it through the machine and it paid and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was back in the old days.
Yeah. That's very neat.
But it's
You
good
look at
bookkeeping.
That
Yeah.
is neat. That's,
Those are 19.
that's when the Wakefields had the bank.
Okay.
PC way.
PC Wakefield.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Got some good looking keychains. I see one way in there. That's a Hendrickson right there, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Hendrickson.
Yeah.
That was
Hendrickson.
Phil Bachman's father-in-law.
Hendrickson?
Wait a minute.
No.
That was his stepfather. Is that right? PC Wakefield?
Yes. PC way was his stepfather.
His
That's
stepfather.
Really?
Yes. yes.
I did not know that.
Right. Yeah.
So he got his start in '67 doing Cadillac and Pontiac, or was
Yeah,
it
he
just
bought it.
was it just Pontiac?
No, it's Pontiac and Cadillac. He bought it. My dad's sold it to Ken Pless, who was, Beatty Chevrolet. Ken Pless married Mr. Beatty, the senior Mr. Beatty's daughter.
Okay.
And my dad knew Mr. Beatty, and so they worked out a deal, and he came up and bought the dealership from Dad. And then Phil bought it from him in 1967. And I remember in May of 1967. Yeah.
That's when Phil started here in town.
In the building right behind me.
Oh, okay. Okay, that building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? I did not know.
Yeah,
that.
right across from Trinity Church.
Yeah. It was the Doyle
Which
Mercury and all
was
that. Yeah, okay.
the Doyle Mercury building. Mm-hmm.
You probably have told me he started there, but I didn't remember that.
So I think in 72 or 3, he built the dealership on 11E and moved it up there.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
And then did it become Ace Hardware then, or maybe a building supply? Greenville Builders was in that building at one time.
Builders, that's right.
I think they were there before they moved.
I remember
into
Ace being there when I was a kid. Ace, like, it was like Paneling World or something.
Yeah, Paneling World.
Yeah.
I remember
There's something like that in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Been a few
BJ
things.
Broyles, I think now.
He got it.
He's
now.
got it now.
He got it back. I think his father owned a Ace Hardware at one time back in the day.
Billy.
Yes.
I remember Ace being there when I
There
was a
was
kid.
some sentimental to that. So BJ picked it
I'll
up.
have to tell you a cute story about Billy Broyles. You ever know Billy?
I did not.
He was a character.
Was he?
He's a wheeler dealer. And so there was a piece of property up on Bohannon Avenue that had been for sale. And he spotted it, and he called me one day, and he said he knew I was looking for some property to build a warehouse. And he called me one day, and I sold him cars and did him pretty well. And he said, "Let's go for a ride with me. I'll show you a piece of property." So, okay. So we rode around up through there, and he said, "Nice piece of property there." He said, "I can get that for you at a good price. I'll sell it to you tomorrow." And I said, "No, you won't." He said, "Why?" I said, "I bought it yesterday."
Beat him to it, didn't he? That's hilarious. I'd like to see the look on his face.
Did he have a Paneling World up there at one
He
time?
did.
Was that his?
I think so. I remember
Because that's
seeing
when
that.
Ace was there too, I believe. I think there was an Ace in the front part, and then the actual biggest part of the building was considered Paneling World.
For some reason, I was thinking Paneling World was on
Bohannon.
Bohannon, back there around where the Orangeburg factory is now, down from the stockyard.
I think they there were for a short period of time.
Short period of
I
time.
don't know
It
if I
was
remember
more of a
it there or not.
warehouse type.
Yeah,
setting.
it was more of a storage.
Yeah,
I
like
think
a
they sold out of there.
wholesale, as is. Just a warehouse that they
That kind of stuff.
filled it up. Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, what you were talking about the Greene County Motor deal. Tell us that story on when they had all the big names that come for that. That's a pretty interesting deal too.
Yeah, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and Harry Firestone came through Greenville for some reason. They were up in Roanoke, I think, and they came meandering back through here. And, back in those days, the main 11E, you came through Johnson City, came through Greenville, Morristown.
Yeah.
And so they came through, and they stopped right up here, right across from Greenville.
Check it on their dealership, huh?
Yeah. And
Make sure their dollars were spent wisely.
there was an article. I've got it over at the Car Museum. I'll show it.
Okay.
They,
Go over and check that out one day.
yeah. But let's see. Yeah, they were in a Packard, and Henry Ford raced and Keiko said, "I ain't going to ride the Packard." They said, "You going to ride in or walk?"
Yeah. He wasn't too thrilled about that.
No,
Huh?
that's right.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Stories like that are just neat. That's very neat. Just
Yeah, I told somebody
to think
the
that
other day, I
they've even
said,
been in Greenville.
I'm getting older. I said, I'm a walking, talking history book.
Oh, definitely. You've definitely got the history right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All these dealerships that have been here around town. Now,
Yeah, look who's over.
Dad and younger Sam Riley, they were buddies. They grew up together.
Okay.
Dad bought vehicles from Sam down there.
Biggest problem I had with Sam, and did you ever know his brother, Chris?
Yeah.
Biggest problem I had with them, they'd get, every time a Corvette come in, they'd get in it and wreck it.
Go out and get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Chris. We went down there one time. Chris was down there.
Yeah. They sold a lot of cars down there. They would unload. It was very interesting to watch them unload. They bring them in on rails.
Yes, the
And then he's side load.
train track was
Side unload those things. I go in there and watch them. I mean, it was a work of art because you had to be so careful
Sure.
to not scratch the cars, So, but the biggest problem I had was, like I say, with Sam and Chris, is
Get out and have fun.
They would drive all the Corvettes.
Yeah.
396 Chevelles.
Yeah, get out in the fun stuff.
That's right.
That's funny.
Did you ever see them unload the Chevy Vega in the early 70s? They would transport those by
They were
rail,
straight up.
and they were turned up this way.
Yeah, that is.
So-
I've seen pictures.
And they would tilt them down and
rig them off.
Had to ship them with nothing in it, didn't they?
yeah, really.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
It would.
You remember the Cosworth Vega?
I've seen pictures.
I
and
drove.
heard.
I had one. I
Did
should
you
have
really?
kept that thing. Yeah, boy, they were bullet fast.
Were they?
They were
They were
a
dangerous.
rocket ship. Mhm.
They were dangerous because they were so small and so light that the motor just overpowered the body.
They took
And
crazy.
if you didn't, if you were a pretty good driver, but you could lose it real quick. Yeah, there were days I drove 2 or 3 of those. I said,
I'm like Tommy. I've seen pictures. I don't know that I've ever physically laid eyes or hands on one.
Alex McLean. Do y'all know Alex?
I do.
don't.
And Dan, we rented a house from Buck and Irene when we first moved here.
Oh, okay.
Really nice people.
Yeah,
And so
good
Alex he had quite a little collection of some
Yeah.
neat cars. AMX.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
big. He's
Yep.
big on AMXs. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he's got 1 or maybe 2 now,
Yep.
I think. So,
Did we ever have anybody in Greenville that sold those?
yeah, Bob, but I think Mr. Hurley had the franchise.
Really?
originally, Yeah. And,
I didn't know if we'd ever had an AM.
Yeah, and then
dealer here or not.
Bachman had it.
We had an AMC dealer in Marshall across the street from
Oh, did you?
my home when I was growing up. And
Really?
They had, they had the Gremlin, the Pacer, the Matador.
Yeah.
The Pacer passenger door is 4 inches wider, so that easier to get in and out of the back. But
Right.
yeah, Houston Brothers
Right.
over in Marshall, had the AMC Jeep and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, like I told you, we bought French Broad.
You
Chevrolet.
acquired the French Broad Chevrolet
Yeah,
dealership.
from the
that was there.
Murrays.
Yep.
Yeah, Bruce Murray. Did you know Bruce? I guess you
I did. My dad worked for the Ford dealership there in the mid to late 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had Ford over there.
Oh, I'm thinking his last name was Merle.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let me tell you what they did. I had the Chevy franchise there. And you remember when GM started canceling all those dealerships?
Yeah.
We were one of them.
Really?
Yeah, I had mine sold to a guy in Gaffney, South Carolina. He had a huge profit made on it. And he was a pretty big dealer, and he just wanted another outlet over there close to Iceville. Iceville's a really good market, a lot of money. in
sure.
Iceville. So we had the deal worked out, and then GM, what broke.
Pull the plug on
And
you.
I had it sold, and they called me back and said, this deal's not going through. And I said, why? And they said, you're no longer a Chevrolet dealer. I said, you're kidding. I said, you've been canceled
They
almost
just
about
did it on their own.
2000. But I knew a couple of dealers. Didn't know them well, but I knew who they were.
Yeah.
Went to dealer days in Alabama. They committed suicide.
Oh, gosh.
And
Of course, that was their livelihood.
That's all,
That was,
That's all they knew. And they took their dealership away from them.
What's funny right now, I don't mean, but there's like a perfect photo op outside right now. We've got, it ain't every day there's going to be 2 Bentleys in front of my shop. I'll just go ahead and tell you. Yours is out there, and then now Al's is out there.
Oh, okay.
Al just pulled up in his.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We're seeing Tyler out there get a picture of that. 2 Bentleys in front of the shop. That never is going to happen
That
again.
won't happen again.
No,
in your
it'll
lifetime.
never happen again in my lifetime. 2 Bentleys in front of my place.
Has Al got his shoes on today?
I doubt it. I'm sure he's barefoot. Barefoot, no shirt. Just
There he is.
I told him that one time. I said,
Pan around there, Tyler.
Yeah.
Pan around there and grab him.
I told
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he comes over the car.
Yeah. I said, Bentley never, you're the only man that's ever drove a Bentley barefooted and no shirt. Watch him. He's getting a picture of it too. He's wanting a picture of 2 Bentleys in front of this place.
Yeah.
That guy's hilarious.
He could be his own podcast. He has
could.
lived 3 lifetimes.
He has. He's
is-
got a very interesting story.
He comes to the car museum. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy.
That's hilarious. That's what that is. I love it.
Yeah. 2 in one day.
Yeah, 2 in one day. What's the odds of that? I wasn't
Same
trying.
car. They look like twins.
I was saying it looks like twins out there. Yeah, I mean that's impressive.
Double trouble.
Double trouble. There you go. Double trouble today. That's funny.
Those things. Have you ever driven one?
I have not. Al told me I could drive.
Unbelievable.
He said it's unreal. He said the power in that car is unreal.
It's
They're
almost scary.
the W12 motor, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Twin turbos.
Those are unreal.
It's running right at 600 horsepower. I think it's 595 or something.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
We have several Maseratis in Greenville.
Yes,
you know
you
that?
do.
It's that two Bentleys show up and I hear sirens.
Sure.
I mean, it's getting rowdy out here for some reason. Kent brought all the trouble with him today.
That is big time trouble.
That's funny.
As long as no one from the probation office comes over.
Yeah, as long as we keep them over, I guess it'll be okay. Yeah.
Well, I've got my son-in-law. He's a DA.
That is right. There you go. We'll get him down here to help us out.
Keep me out of trouble.
He can keep you out of trouble. Don't he?
I'm telling you, his office is right across the street from me, and he's a joker. I'm telling you, he's a lot of fun.
David,
He sure
he's
is.
a good man.
Yeah.
He sure is.
I told him, I said, buddy, you better stick with me. I said, we're outnumbered. Just I got my wife and his wife and his daughter,
His
my
daughter,
granddaughter.
Yeah.
I said, they've got us outnumbered.
You boys don't have a tiebreaker at all right there,
I
do
said,
you?
you got to stick with me.
Yeah. You just got to fight hard, don't you?
That's right.
That's funny.
Exactly.
That is funny.
Yeah.
How many years you and Betty Ann been married now?
52.
52 years.
Yeah. Don't know a bit more about her day than the day met her. She's a good woman. Though.
She's a sweetheart. I love Betty Ann to
She's
death.
tough. She's tough. She's
I
a
do.
good one.
I love Betty Ann to death. She tickles me.
She and I have the most unusual marriage. I've got my businesses, and she's got her. She's very successful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Candace, my daughter, she works for both of them. Says she had to switch up here.
Yeah.
Daddy, Mama.
I was gonna say, I'd say that gets aggravating for old Candace on that stuff. Don't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a tug of war.
Yeah.
But
That's
she's
great.
good. She's a good operator.
Yeah. Good. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, now we're back.
There it goes.
We're
I'm
back.
myself
We're
now.
back to one Bentley again.
You sure that was your car?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was that yours or his? This is,
The keys.
I've still got my key.
that's funny.
Yeah.
What year is your Bentley? Is it 06?
06.
06. His is an 06. That's why. That's
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never drove one of those cars. You ever
Those
drove one?
things,
Never have.
those things do not hold their value for some reason.
They don't, do they? They sell high.
I think now the new one's probably about $350,
Yeah.
and you can buy one. You can buy one like mine, probably some $50 or
Yeah.
maybe a little less.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah,
What's the funnest car you've ever owned?
right. That's a good question. The Bentley's probably as exciting a car as I've ever driven. It's fun to drive. It's a little bit scary.
I'm sure.
Which puts a little adrenaline in you.
Yeah.
And it's good to look at. I mean, it's good looking at. But I've had a couple of Corvettes, LA8s, pretty strong,
Pretty peppy car.
pretty peppy. But I tell you what, something that I've got now. I don't know if you've seen that yellow Camaro I've got a Hennessy. It's 660 horsepower. It's 6 speed.
Is it over at the museum?
No,
No?
I've got it over there on Summer Street.
Okay. No, I don't know that I've seen it.
It's a bridge.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen it.
It's quicker out of the blocks than
Is it?
than the Bentley, but it probably won't top end this high, but you got to hold on. It's
Yeah.
dangerous. It's fun though.
When you commit on that, when you're committed,
Oh,
that's-
yeah. It's fun to drive.
I guarantee it.
I drive. It's really funny. I don't think I've ever told anybody. I drive about in a week. I'll probably drive 6 or 8 different vehicles, and I drive based on the mood I'm in.
There you go. Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean, it's hard to describe that.
That's true. I mean, why
it's
not?
just how I feel. Yeah, that I go.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
What was your biggest disappointment in a car that you was really hyped up about, and you thought, "Oh man, I just can't wait to get this," and you get one that you're really disappointed
Oh,
in,
yeah. It's real
or
disappointing.
problematic. It just never was. Did you ever?
yeah, probably an Oldsmobile, probably in the late '80s, early '90s.
The Trofeo with the digital dash and
Yeah, just the technology. They were, the engineers were ahead of their time.
They
were.
And the dealers weren't ready. The customers weren't ready, and it was just the cars were too complicated.
They were.
and just
Timing was
it
timing was
kind of
off.
took
wasn't
the
it?
enthusiasm of buying and selling the car.
Yeah, timing was way off on that one.
Yeah, we went through a few years of that, and
Yeah.
everything kind of
Went
equalized out. Yeah.
Did you ever drive a Oldsmobile Silhouette?
Oh yeah.
The Dustbuster, the minivans?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
That was a neat grocery getter, though.
Yeah.
The Pontiac Transport, it did have some cool lines.
Yeah,
They look good lowered.
they do. They look
Yeah.
good on the ground.
It did.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
What's the car that you wished you wouldn't have got rid of? You got one that got away, or
Oh yeah. 65 Chevy GT350. I paid $1,500 for that car.
golly,
I sold it for 45. I thought I'd hit the
you doing
lottery.
good, didn't you?
That car's worth about 350,000 now.
And just let it walk away.
I paid $1,800 for a Ford Pinto, and 3 years later, a guy came and got it in a horse trailer. With a blown engine.
Loaded in a horse trailer.
Yep.
That's funny.
Let me tell you a story. Betty and I were at Barry Jackson auction in West Palm Beach, probably been 15, 16 years ago. All the Texaco display I've got at the museum, I bought it there.
Okay.
But we got there real early, and the doors opened about 8, and I think we were there about 8, and just going through it. Had a section, Ford had a section in there. It's kind of a museum set up with the auction. It was over to the side and everything, but they displayed their cars and had people there telling me a little bit about what was going on. And so we got there real early. We went in there in the Ford section, and they had the Shelby section over here. It's probably an area maybe about twice the size of this, and they had several cars around and everything. And we were about the only people in the place at the time. I didn't see anybody else because we were about really young. Well, I looked over there in the corner and I saw this guy sitting over there, and just sitting there. So I walked over and I got closer and I said, "Are you Carol Shelby?"
No way.
He said, "Last time I checked." And I told him that I saw him and Pete Brock and Kenny Miles up in Danville, Virginia, Virginia National Raceway. They raced a Shelby Mustang.
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah, 1966, I guess it was.
Wow.
And he remembered being up there. And,
No
and
kidding.
everything, yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Very neat.
But he was so nice and
I always
down to
heard
earth
it
and
was.
everything.
Yeah, they said he was just top notch guy.
He was telling us, I asked him, I said, I knew you had some health issues. So they said, "Yeah, I'm doing pretty good." He said, "I've had about every body part I got replaced."
He
had a heart-
did. He had
heart
heart. He was one of the very first
Liver.
heart transplant people,
Yeah.
wasn't he? That
Yeah, he
had
had a
lived.
liver,
Yeah.
which is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
At that time. You
he
know?
had a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting story. That's for sure.
He's a
I'd
piece
say he was a neat guy. I've always whatever I've ever read on the guy, it said he was just real nice, real top notch
He
guy.
talked to Betty and I. I would say we talked to him 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He's very engaging and
Yeah.
very attentive and everything.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a very cool story.
Yeah.
I like it. Just sitting there by himself, huh?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
off in the corner
Yeah,
all by
I
himself.
said, "Are you Carol Shelby?" He said, "Yeah, last time I checked."
That sounds like a good Shelby response right there.
That's right. Yeah.
They say he was a character. That'd be fun. Get to talk to that guy.
Remember the Dodge Omni?
Yeah.
Shelby Charger.
Yeah.
It was a little
And they did the little
silver and blue Chrysler Plymouth Horizon and TC3 Turismo.
yeah.
Had a Shelby Turbo 2.2.
Yeah. Let me tell you the most interesting
Oh,
part. I'm
God.
trying to get my hands on one. I will before it's over with. It's going to be a long bus. Is Shelby Oldsmobile.
Really?
Google it. Yeah.
Really?
You talk about a good looking car.
Really?
It looks like a Corvette that's been refined.
No kidding.
I mean, it is good looking. I don't understand why somebody hadn't tried to duplicate that design.
I never knew he had.
Yeah, Google it.
Oh, we all check that out.
Yeah, Shelby. It was an Oldsmobile Shelby. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they only made like 100 of them. I'm trying to get my hands on one.
Was it 60s, early 70s, or?
No, it was. I'm not sure what year, but It was in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the time, early 2000s when they done that Shelby Series 2, wasn't it? The Cobra, like they just basically made a concept car.
Yes.
Now we saw that car, it sold at Greensboro. We were over at the Greensboro sale. And one of the guy that bought it was one of the guys that him and Carol worked together on development and design of that car. Very interesting, man. And I'm drawing a blank right now on his name for everything. I can't come up with it. But
did you go to the Greensboro auction?
yeah, this was that GAA classic car sale over there.
Were you there when Ron Jones's car sold?
No, I did not make it over there for Ron's sale. Now, I watched it online. I wasn't there for Ron's sale, but
We knew Dean Green ran that auction.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
we had the Bristol auto auction,
Right.
so we were.
You knew Dean and all that,
he was
yeah.
well, good guy.
oh, great people,
Hard
very
working
great
guy.
people.
Yeah,
They've done well over there.
good
Man,
auction. He
they've
grew that thing. I mean, it was.
They've got huge facilities over there.
Yeah.
You were talking about rail, unloading cars by rail and stuff. And that's the first thing I thought of was over there at Greens, over there, because they've got that big section back there where they load rail cars and everything, now.
Yeah.
And I think that's impressive to me to
It
watch
is.
them load and unload rail cars.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
It is.
They've got a good auction over there. Good.
Yeah.
That classic car sale is a lot of fun. But no, I didn't make it over there for Ron.
Mike Anderson's his head auctioneer, and Mike worked for us. This is a good story. I got more. We get old, we have quite a good story. Mike Anderson, I'm really proud of him. He was our Coca-Cola bottle guy, and he come to our auction, at the Bristol auction. And I remember he came up and talked to me and my dad, and he said, "This is interesting." He said, "I'd like to become an auctioneer." And I asked my dad, said, "What I need to do?" And he said, "Well, Red Mendenhall, who works for us, and his brother have a auction school over in High Point, North Carolina." And he said, "I'll introduce you to Red, and you go over there." And he did. And like I say, he was our Coca-Cola bottle guy. So he went over there and learned how to auctioneer, came to work for us,
Wow.
and then bought us out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
a good
neat.
story.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Went from
He runs the auction up in Abington now.
Okay.
There. So yeah, really good guy.
That's neat. That's a neat story too, right there.
Yeah.
Started out just a Coca-Cola guy.
Yeah.
What about that?
It's funny. My dad just got to tell it like it was. And so Mike went to auctioneer school. And he's doing okay, I guess. And so I asked my dad if he could auctioneer one day. And he said, "We'll let you do the reruns. At the end, if the cars don't sell, they'll run maybe 15 or 20 back through." And so he said, "We'll let you do the reruns." And he got up there, auctioneered, and he did. I thought he did pretty good. And he got off the stage. My dad, he just said, "Mr. Bewley, how'd I do?" He said, "Need a little more work, son."
Just wasn't there yet. Just wasn't there yet. A little more work.
But he did. He got. That's a good story. The bottom guy ended up buying us out.
And then bought you out.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That's crazy. What are the odds? That's just
Yeah.
one of them just dream stories right there. That's crazy. That's neat. But yeah, Green and them over there, they've got a nice place over there.
Yeah.
They've done well over there.
I tell you something I'm proud of that I've been able to do. I've got 5 guys that started with me, and they're all multimillionaires now.
Really, man, that's good.
They kind of watch what I did,
Mm-hmm.
and work hard, save my money,
Mm-hmm.
and invest in
Sure.
property and things like that. And every one of them done that.
That's good.
And they've all done.
Kind
I'm
of-
proud of them.
Kind of an
Dale
apprentice.
Cockers.
I'll say Dale's a good guy.
Jerry Osborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked. Me and Tommy's talked about that. We want Dale to come in and sit down and talk with us too.
Dale started with me when he was 14 years
Yes.
old.
Yeah.
That's what he was telling me.
Yeah. He came to work for us up there in the warehouse, and we had 2 old tobacco trucks, and they both were, needed cleaning up real good and everything. So it got real slow up there one day, and so Dale took them over there, and they had a buffer, and he buffed them down, shined them up, and they looked pretty good.
Yeah.
My dad walked in, he said, "Did you buy some new trucks?" I said, "No." I said, Clyde Cocker's grandson, Dale, there, he was just like 14, 15
Just a kid.
years old.
Put
I
him
said,
on the payroll.
Yeah.
He said, And I told Phil this. He said, who did that? I said, Dale Cocker. That's Clyde's grandson. He said, that boy makes a name himself.
Yeah. Yeah, Dale's a good dude. That's funny.
Yeah.
Started out cleaning up cars.
Yeah. He started with me on the water rack.
Yeah.
And then he worked his way up, and he was so good. He wanted to go to the lube rack from the horse rack, and he said, would you let me do that? Would you promote? And I said, yeah. The only thing is you're the best cleanup man I've ever had. I'm going to put you over cleanup. You've got to hire somebody. They're going to work for you. They're going to work for me. And he did. And he became master mechanic. I sent him to the tech school up in, I guess, where is it? Next to the airport.
Oh, up at Montville, up at Northeast State.
Yeah. And he finished first in his class.
Good.
Yeah, Dale's a top-notch guy. He's recovering from back surgery that he had a couple weeks ago, and
I didn't know that.
He's doing really good. He 20 years ago he hurt himself, just doing some manual labor, and he's dealt with the pain for a while, and he's doing great. But he and I spoke the other day, and he said he'd love to come down and
good. We'll
and
get
sit
him down
in
here.
with us.
Yeah,
He's got some fun stories.
He does.
And
He
really is a good guy.
Yeah, we'll get him down here. That'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Hey, we like good stories. Kent's brought us some good stories today,
He has.
too. I've enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot. There's just so much automotive knowledge. I mean, I know we're a little biased here because we like our Greene County stuff. That's where we're all at. But there's some good information right here and all this stuff. It's just mind-blowing to me, stories and stuff that's went on and happened.
The thing that's interesting, too, is most of these dealerships are interrelated in some form or fashion.
Probably.
Some are a derivative of another dealership, and some are kind of partners. But here's one that I bet you, there was a Kaiser dealership here, and Don Cox.
I remember Don when he had this down here.
Universal
Had
Motors.
University.
Yeah, he had it.
I never knew he was a Kaiser dealer, though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say just Don O'Cox had Universal Motors, and somewhere a couple of years ago I read that Universal Motors as a name, as a dealer, was the longest running automotive dealer, even though it's a used car dealer, still in the area, and it's been going for 50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah. So it was a name forever. Huh?
Yes.
Really?
Did Mike Cobble take it over, or did someone? Do you know if the name is still?
I think it is, but I'm not sure who the.
I don't know
the
if they're
dealer
doing
would be.
business as, or
Right.
if they kept that. But
I think they kept it. He sold his house
He
a
did.
lot there.
Yeah.
And I think they kept the name
yep,
and used it to. I think they just sold a few cars, not a lot.
Sure.
But
Yeah, just to
name's
keep the
still
name
alive.
going.
Like I say,
Keep it
it's
going.
probably
It is.
one of the oldest names, I guess, in the business.
yeah, that's still current.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I was trying to see if there's anything on here that might be of interest.
That is neat to think.
Most of these dealers back then in those days, did they have like a 5 or 10 year run where they were, big and going, and then just kind of got out of them? There's a lot of turnover. You'll have car dealers come and go, and
Well,
the brand still stays there. But
yeah,
was there a?
most of the dealers, I guess, like Joe Bewley and Kent Bewley and Sam Riley and some of those, it was like father, son, grandson. So
Sure.
it just kind of went down
Kept going.
in the family. Wasn't a huge turnover up until probably the 90s, and then the chains started coming in, and I guess the tradition, the family values kind of went by the wayside.
Sure.
Yeah, that's about where they all are now. Most of them are just chain owners.
Yeah,
Big business, big corporate.
Yeah, I sold my Chevy store in Morristown to David Hudson, and he's out of South Carolina. And he started out fairly small, but he's up now. I just talked to him last week. They're up to 42 dealerships.
Wow, 42.
That's the Hudson Automotive Group.
That's yeah.
When I started driving in '84, I believe Tilson Motor Company was in your building on Summer
Jack
Street.
Tilson.
Jack Tilson.
Yeah.
He had a good little business going there. Sold some good used cars and a little service center.
Jack, good guy. I don't want to talk about it. He's a good guy, honest, hardworking, but he was not an entrepreneur of sorts. He worked for Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Forever and ever. And he was a good guy and a good operator, but and I've seen this happen. A lot of guys can't run their own business. They can run your business, but they need a little support or direction. And Jack just ran on some hard times there. I feel sorry for him, but he just couldn't quite, run his own dealership. Yeah, but really good guy.
I don't even know if I remember that one over there.
I used to see his tags a lot, but he sold a decent quality used car. A lot of people went to him to get a good, reliable used car.
He was just a used car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Used car.
He just used car.
Yeah, he worked for Phil out there forever, didn't he?
Okay.
Yep.
I seem like I remember being out there.
Yeah, he ran
Phil's.
Wheels.
Honda Wheels.
Honda Wheels.
Yes.
Yeah. He and Phil kind of had a parting of ways or something.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it.
Leonard Ingle stayed with him the whole time. When they started selling Hondas, they didn't have a lift in the back to do service work. And Leonard said they were changing oil with floor jacks and jack stands and tire rotations on those little, 3-cylinder Hondas back there in the back. And,
had to jack them all
Yeah.
But, I think Honda got in touch with Phil probably back in the 80s, I guess. And they were going to open a Honda store in Morristown.
Mm-hmm.
And Phil didn't want them to. And they said the only way you can stop that is you've got to move
yours there.
You're there. You can't have two.
Huh.
And Morristown's much better, which it is. It's a great area. And so that's how he put down there.
No
He didn't have a
kidding.
choice.
Really?
He raced Mr. Honda in the 60s. He was a kart champion.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
He said, speed records at Daytona with dual McCullough engine on those little things. But out in Spokane, Washington, in karting world, I read an article where he and Mr. Honda had raced each other.
Wow, really?
Yeah, in like 67, 68.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
and up until Phil stopped driving, his daily car was a Honda Civic, or he didn't drive anything elaborate. It was always a Honda Civic. Or it was funny when I first met him, he had a 83 Civic station wagon about this color, like a creamy color. And he laughed and he goes, "What do you think about this?" And he had a bumper sticker. And he wasn't really one to showboat, but he had a sticker that said, "My other car is a Ferrari." And he put it up in the back. And he didn't want to waste the sticker, so he put tape on it.
He taped the sticker
He
to
taped
the
it
back.
on. He goes, "What do you think, people?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't want to
funny.
believe that, ever.
I can see him doing that.
But he did. He drove that Honda or little Toyota.
And the bad part,
the whole
everybody that
time.
ever saw that, they just thought it was a joke. They
Yeah,
didn't realize
yeah.
they had a whole building full of Ferraris. did
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
told somebody one time, this is several years ago, I think, a few years ago, that they were talking about Ferrari collections. I said, one of the finest Ferrari collections in the
Yeah,
world.
in the
Right? I
world.
agree with Edison.
Yeah, one of the finest ones there ever has been was right here in Greenville.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy was even talking to Chris Jacobs about that the other day.
Yeah.
He was talking to him about that over Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
I think Chris was impressed by the Ferrari collection.
Oh,
wasn't he?
yeah, he's blown away. He flew in and met PB and Amanda, and they brought him down, and he was just, wow.
Yeah.
There's more here than there are in Italy, honestly, where they're built,
Yeah, I guess Phil's funeral or Martha's funeral, they both had representatives from Ferrari.
From
there.
Ferrari there,
I think
yeah.
the president
Yeah.
was there for Martha's, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He was like a U.S. ambassador to Ferrari.
He
though,
was.
wasn't
He was the ambassador of Ferrari to America.
Yeah.
They said one time, you may have heard this, that he needed a part for Ferrari. And he called over there, Italy, tried to describe it. And because of the language barrier, I guess they couldn't quite understand it. So they said that he just went to the airport
He did.
and didn't have a t-shirt on, or sandals, or something. Got on a plane, flew over to Italy, got the part, came back.
Came right back. I know that he got some Connolly leather for the top of the dash, around the gauge cluster. That was a separate piece. And well, guy, the leather there's finer. While they still have some, I need to get enough for two. And he always had a spare.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this guy has the means to get on an airplane, fly to Italy, pick up some leather at the factory, and come back just in case it ever went bad. But he told me, I said, so did you meet Enzo Ferrari? Back in the early days, 85 or so. He said, I got to meet Enzo one time. And he said, I was out there looking at the car, and we were going over it, and they were putting wax on it. And then it was all glassurate, and it was a single stage before the clear coat. And he was freaking out because, this was one of the first Ferraris, and it had swirl marks in it, and they'd put, beeswax, or he would call it banana wax, carnauba. And they'd put a couple of covers over it and then put it in the pallet. And he's just going, what about this? What about that? What do I do in here? So they get Enzo, and Enzo walks down the hall, real short guy, the big nose, big black glasses. He looks at the car and feels, he's, and Enzo goes, Ferrari is a race engine, not to paint the job. And he turns and walks away. And Phil goes, that's enough for me. And that was the extent of meeting Enzo Ferrari.
That's a good story right there.
We always joked about that at his parties and stuff. He said, do it, Tommy, you do it. You do it so good.
I remember I was at the bank board, Andrew Johnson, and this is years ago. It's when Phil bought his first Ferrari. Mm-hmm. You remember Bill Hickson? Mm-hmm. And Bill from the college room, we were best friends and everything. He was president of the bank. And he called me and he said, Bachman's want to buy this Ferrari. And but he didn't want to title it. He wants to keep the MSO, so a bank likes to get the title recorded because they can perfect their lien on there. Mm-hmm. So Hickson, he was all nervous about it, everything. So I said, let's make a phone call. So we called the state, and they said you could actually put a lien on it, and it doesn't have to be on the bill of origin. It could be attached to it there, everything. But we did that. That's the first Ferrari I think he bought. He just kept buying them. He'd make all Harrison nervous. He called and said, Bobby, we'll buy another Ferrari. And I said, that's great collateral.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
He and Carl Packard bought the first F40 into the States that they could get one of the earliest serial numbers. And he was wigging out. He was freaking. He's like, man, we're rubbing our nickels together. And I was like, how much is this car? And this was in early 90s. Yeah. $756,000 that they went in and bought this car. And I'm thinking, whoa. Well, the market bottomed out a couple years later, 4 or 5 years later. You could pick that car up for about $380,000.
Yeah.
Well, it sat on it. And when it sold at auction, it went for $5.
I was going to say, what was it hammered at? I couldn't remember. Yeah, I'll say
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You
$5.5
know, Thacker, I think he's still got a Ferrari.
Yeah.
I think he's got a house up here.
He did, and he had one.
He may have sold the house.
He had one in the garage, and the key was always in it. The battery was unhooked.
Hell, flat tires.
Flat tire, and he had a Jeep Grand Wagoneer or an old, and he would put a chain around the axle, so these kids wouldn't. I mean, they had those parties like they did in the '80s. Yeah. That the high school parties. But when they would, this Jeep sat out in front, and he had a chain around the axle, and you couldn't get the car out of the garage. The kids would go out there and sit in it and stuff.
That's hilarious.
That was always a running joke about. He's got a Ferrari, but you can't never drive it.
Chain down over.
Yeah, Julia was.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Does he still have the house?
Is that the home that Kim Perry bought?
Well,
or did she buy the Joneses' home?
No, she bought it, and then I think she may have
sold it already.
Sold it back to him or something.
Okay, I know they've been doing some renovations.
Yeah,
yeah. I
haven't seen that house. Have you been in that house?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
It's kind of gaudy.
It is.
It's nice,
really?
But it's just almost overdone.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
That's funny.
It looks like a palace.
It does. It's elaborate.
Yeah.
It's
elaborate. It's too elaborate for Greenville, Tennessee.
Yeah. Phil's mom renovated their home out there in the 50s and early 60s. And she had these rosettes brought in from Paris and, just elaborate work done. But in the dining room, it still has the silver. And if you remember, it has peacocks on the wall and it's felt. Yeah. And it's still there.
Wow.
He preserved that. And we took all the great measures to do that. But it's wild.
That's crazy.
That house was the Link house.
The Links, yep.
Bob Link lived in that house.
Okay.
That's how Link Hills. Everybody thinks links, golf links, but
Link was the name.
And I was with my dad. My dad was the first president of Link Hills when they followed it. I'm just a little boy. I was with him. And every deal is a kicker. Usually, 90% of the time it's a surprise, but there are other things that come into play. And Bob Link wanted more than anything, wanted to be buried there. He and his brother. They're at Link Hills, and they're buried.
Are they really?
I mean, it's the only country club he's got a graveyard there.
A country club with a graveyard.
It's right across from swimming.
Ain't that something?
But that was a codicil in the deed that he and his brother would be buried there, and there would be perpetual care as long as Link Hills was there. And even if they sold it, then that was part of the deed that their graves would be cared for forever.
Wow,
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You ever go snowmobiling with Phil?
Yeah.
You ever get one of those out there on the green?
We've got it on the course. Never got it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I need better money. Kill me.
Oh, yeah. I've heard stories about that. But, yeah, those were some good times. I know you guys
get over riding a snowmobile.
I had a lot of fun with those Arctic cats.
Phil's first wife was Sherry.
Yes.
And I went to the wedding. They got married over there in the yard.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting there with my mother, and my dad was playing golf. And he was on the first hole over there. We were sitting there, and my dad's like, "Hey, kid, come over." My mother said, "Be quiet."
Shut up.
Yeah. But they got married right after the yard.
That's funny.
Yeah. Now, Sherry lives in Jonesboro. And she's remarried. She married this guy. He's kind of a hippie of sorts.
Really?
But they have a business up there, and they, I think they've done well.
Done well.
Jonesboro. Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Did they have the two collie dogs at the wedding?
I don't think so.
They were always, they had those. They showed those big collies. Yeah, Pepper and Midnight, black and brown, tan, a tricolor, and then a tan.
I tell you, between you and me, we got lots of
stories. We may have to come back and revisit this,
do an episode 2,
or split this into 2 different ones.
Now we got a funeral home.
Yeah, we got Jeffers. Hey, they'll be the last to let us down.
They'll be the last to let us down out there. Hey, I tell you what, Kent, we've enjoyed the heck out of you coming. This has been a blast. Always fun.
Well, I hope
if you want to come back, you're more welcome to come back and hang out with us. This is a lot of fun. But we appreciate you coming on. Okay. If anybody wants to check it out, City Garage Car Museum, 210
South Main.
210 South Main, right here in downtown Greenville. You need to come check it out. Good place, good people. Hey, Hot Rods and Hijinks. Anywhere you can hear us, go check us out. See you later.